You're standing in line at the checkout, item in hand, and you're about to make a purchase under $50. It feels small, insignificant even, so you swipe your card without thinking twice. But what if that single moment of hesitation could reshape your financial life over the next year or decade? Welcome to the $50 rule, a surprisingly powerful habit that's changing how everyday people think about their money. If you're looking for practical financial strategies that actually stick, consider subscribing to this channel for more insights like this one. The $50 rule is elegantly simple. Before any purchase under $50, you pause for just 10 seconds. That's it. During those 10 seconds, you ask yourself one question: do I need this or do I want this? If you decide to buy it anyway, you immediately transfer half of what you didn't spend into savings. Let me explain what that means. Say you've decided to buy a coffee and a pastry for $12. You pause, you think, and you realize you actually want it. You complete the purchase. But here's the magic part. That remaining $38 from your $50 threshold gets split. Half of it, $19, goes straight into a separate savings account before you can change your mind. This isn't about deprivation. This isn't about never treating yourself. Instead, it's about making that treat intentional rather than automatic. The pause is crucial because research shows that most impulse purchases happen in the first 8 to 12 seconds of desire. By building in a deliberate stop, you're creating space between the impulse and the action. You're giving your rational brain time to catch up to your emotional one. And when you do decide to purchase, you've already made a conscious choice, which means you're more likely to actually enjoy what you bought, instead of experiencing buyer's remorse 30 minutes later. But the real power of the $50 rule reveals itself in the math. Let's say you're someone who makes 4 purchases under $50 per week, and on average, you actually spend $35 per purchase. That means you're spending $140 per week on these smaller transactions. Using the $50 rule, you'd be routing approximately $19 per week into savings because you're taking half of the unspent amount from each transaction. $19 per week might not sound revolutionary, but let's look at what happens over 1 year. $19 per week times 52 weeks equals $988. That's almost $1,000 in a single year, generated entirely from the difference between your threshold and your actual spending, split intentionally into savings. Most people don't even notice this money missing from their spending because they were never planning to save it in the first place. It's not a sacrifice. It's a redirect. You're not earning less or working more. You're simply routing money that was already slipping away into a dedicated account. And here's where it gets really interesting. What if you maintain this habit for 10 years? $988 per year, compounded over 10 years, equals $9,880. But that's just the baseline math without any interest. If your savings account is earning even a modest 1% annual interest, you're looking at closer to $10,200. If you're in a high-yield savings account earning 4 to 5%, you're approaching $12,000 or more. All of this from a simple pause and a redirect. All of it from the space between impulse and intention. The $50 rule works because it doesn't require you to earn more or spend less overall. It simply redirects what's already flowing through your budget into a place where it can grow. Yet here's the truth that most financial advice misses. Knowing the math isn't enough. Thousands of people understand that saving money is important, and they still don't do it. Knowing that you could save nearly $1,000 in a year is intellectually compelling, but it doesn't automatically change behavior. The real challenge is keeping this habit alive past week 3, which is when most new financial habits collapse. Week 1 feels exciting. Week 2 still has novelty, but by week 3, the pause starts to feel like friction. You're tired. You want your coffee without thinking about it. The habit feels like work instead of autopilot, and that's exactly when people quit. So how do you make the $50 rule stick past that critical third week? The first strategy is to make the pause as frictionless as possible. Set a phone reminder that triggers every time you're about to make a purchase under $50. Better yet, set up your banking so that the automatic transfer happens the moment you complete the purchase. You don't have to remember to move the money. You don't have to think about it. The system does it for you. Automation is the enemy of willpower fatigue. When you remove the decision-making component, The habit survives past week 3 because it requires almost no mental energy to maintain. The second strategy is to make the results visible. Create a dedicated savings tracker, either a simple note on your phone or a visual tracker you keep on your desk. Every week, note how much you've saved using the $50 rule. By the end of week 4, you'll have concrete evidence that the pause is working. You'll see numbers, not abstractions. You'll have redirected $70 to $80 into savings just by pausing and splitting. That visible progress is profoundly motivating. It transforms the pause from a chore into a game you're winning. You start looking forward to that moment of seeing the number grow. The third strategy is to connect the habit to a specific goal. Don't just save money into a generic savings account. Decide what you're saving for. Maybe it's a weekend trip in 6 months. Maybe it's an emergency fund that reaches 3 months of expenses. Maybe it's a down payment on something you actually want. When the $50 rule connects to a goal that matters to you, the pause transforms from a restriction into a step towards something you genuinely desire. Week 3 no longer feels like deprivation. It feels like progress toward a meaningful target. That psychological shift is what carries the habit past the initial honeymoon phase. The fourth strategy is to celebrate small wins. Every time you complete a full week of using the $50 rule without breaking it, mark it on a calendar. Every time you hit $50 saved, treat that as a milestone. I'm not suggesting you spend the money you saved, but acknowledge the achievement. Buy yourself a coffee anyway, guilt-free, because you've earned the habit reinforcement. These small celebrations create positive associations with the pause. Your brain starts releasing dopamine when you see that calendar mark or that milestone notification. The habit becomes its own reward, which is the ultimate way to make any behavior stick beyond week 3. There's also a fifth strategy that many people overlook: community or accountability. Share your $50 rule commitment with someone else. Tell a friend, a partner, or a family member what you're doing and why. Check in with them weekly about your progress. Send them your tracker screenshot. The social accountability transforms a solo financial hack into a shared commitment. When someone else knows you're doing this, you're significantly more likely to maintain it past the difficult early weeks. Humans are tribal creatures. We're motivated by belonging and acknowledgement. Leverage that. By week 4, if you've implemented even 2 or 3 of these strategies, the $50 rule stops feeling like willpower and starts feeling like the way you naturally make purchases. The pause becomes automatic, the redirect becomes invisible, and the savings become inevitable. You'll look back at your account balance at the end of month 2 and feel genuinely surprised at how much has accumulated. That surprise turns into confidence. Confidence turns into commitment. And commitment turns into a decade-long habit that generates $10,000 or more in unexpected wealth. The $50 rule works because it respects human psychology. It doesn't ask you to radically change your spending. It doesn't demand deprivation or asceticism. It simply introduces a moment of intentionality and a system of automatic redirection. Over 10 years, that moment of intentionality and that automatic system compound into financial freedom that most people never thought possible. If this strategy resonates with you, please like this video, because it helps more people discover these kinds of practical financial tools. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel for more actionable insights on money, habits, and building the life you actually want. Now here's my question for you. What would you do with nearly $10,000 in savings over the next decade? Are you someone who struggles with impulse purchases, or do you already have systems in place to handle them? Leave a comment below and let me know. Your experience and perspective could genuinely help someone else in this community take their first step toward financial clarity. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.